But there was one contemplation.
Oh, Shanti. Yes, we said last time, whenever the prakasham, the light comes, the darkness moves away. We said, what is the truth?
Darkness vanishes. You said light is spreading or darkness vanishes. Light is always there.
Maybe. We must remember when we are talking here in Vedanta, we are not talking about the actual light and darkness. Vedanta, when we are explaining light and darkness means one is jnanam, another is ajnanam, avidya. So, not the physical darkness and light, what we are talking about. But it is right because darkness is nothing but less brightness is called darkness. Ajnanam is darkness. That means one who is unable to discriminate things is called ajnana. Because he is not able to see. He is not able to see means inner. From his inner self, he is unable to see it. So they called it as darkness. It's not the physical darkness and light what we are talking about. Vedanta, we are talking about the knowledge and the mudhata, they called it. Ajnanam also has come. Jnanam. Where there is no jnanam, that's called ajnanam. It doesn't say there is darkness. It doesn't say it is mudhata. It just says that ajnanam. Where there is no jnanam. It doesn't mean it is mudhata or it is ajnanam. Ajnanam, the meaning of ajnanam is that where there is no jnana, where there is no light, where there is no brightness, let me not call it as light. Of course, everywhere we explain about light and darkness. Where there is no visibility, we call it as darkness. Where there is no discrimination, however, we call it as darkness. So when that avidya or ajnanam is observed, where does it vanish anyway? Why did I ask? Was the question was vanishing was the what was there in my mind actually. Nothing vanishes. Nothing vanishes. What we say, it goes away or it vanishes is a wrong term because we are learning Vedanta. We should remember that. We are not talking very casual subject. So vanishing is not there. Nothing is vanishing. Everything is existing only. It's all there. Where will it go? So darkness gets absorbed into the light. Ajnanam gets absorbed into the jnanam, so it becomes jnanam, it turns into jnanam. That's the term used by Upanishad always, that Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who be- the one who becomes the Brahman, he identifies the Brahman. Brahmavid, that Vidya, with Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. So the darkness is light, less light, in which discrimination power is low. It's not saying it is not there. Discrimination power is low, but when the brightness comes, when the knowledge comes, when the discrimination power is, it's called enlightenment, they call it. Enlightenment, that means absolute prakashamanam. That means that prakasham is that fully one is able to see it completely, absolute, clearly. So nothing is vanishing, is what I just thought of asking. In fact, that was my intention of putting that. What is the truth? I said. Yes, yes, the truth is brightness, no doubt about it, because ajnanam is from the jnana. It gets absorbed into the brightness. So when the jnanam is there, and once here, it is not like light, where it is easily understandable, so people put it as a simile, as put it as a light and darkness, and lamp and darkness, brightness and darkness, so that one can understand. Once in Vedantically, as I told you, it is the jnanam and the ajnanam. The darkness is less light. That means ajnanam is mudada. Doesn't mean there is no jnanam. Mudada means he has less power of discrimination. That less power of discrimination is abolished when the full power of discrimination is, you know, inculcated in that. Therefore, the brightness there, once it comes, it never goes back. The question of light coming and going is not there. In the status, that is why everywhere you will see, nowhere in Upanishad or Vedanta they have told that light has gone away. They said that the light has come and the darkness has gone away. Next, they are not talking about it. There they put a full stop. You know. Then when the light goes off, the darkness should come again, according to the physical knowledge that we have. Yes. Vedantically, they are not talking about that afterwards. There is only one sentence that light comes and darkness goes away. They never talk that light goes away and darkness comes. Because once the knowledge has come, it doesn't go away. There's no question of option there. Once one becomes a enlightened person, he doesn't become a Muda again. It is not possible. Because it is a permanent transformation that takes place in that person. It is not a change. If it is a change, it can again happen, reverse back. But here, the facility for reversing back is not there. Once the jnanam comes, he is an enlightened person. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. He becomes the Brahman. Now, there is no karta, there is no bhokta. There is no identity. One has become the jnana. He is not become the jnani. Why there is no change? That is also should be understood. Why a change is not there? If it is an individual who becomes a jnani, he can become an ajnani. Yes? If he is an individual. If it is in his discriminative power, he can become a jnani and ajnani. He has got an option. Whereas, Jnanam, when it comes, he becomes the Jnanam. He is not the Jnani. He becomes the Jnanam, so there is no, who will reverse that? There is no Karta there. Since there is no Karta, there is no Bhokta. Okay? The seer and the seen and the seeing is not happening. It has been seen. That's it. That's the position. When it has been seen, there is an end. That's all. Neither the seer remains nor the seeing remains. Neither the light, the question of light or the darkness doesn't remain anything. It is only he becomes knowledge. He is not knowledgeable. He becomes the knowledge. From that knowledge only, all that brightness, all that knowledge percolates and distributes it to ground. This is why earlier in one paragraph it said that it is the investigation conducted by the ancient rishis. Based on their personal experience, they have derived certain solutions for the problems of sufferings and sorrows or life, living life, based on that experience. What is that experience? That experience is not the experience that what we have today with our intelligence and indriyas and the mana and the intellect. That it's not that experience. The experiencing is happening. It is because of the personal experiences constitute the bulk of our scriptures, he said that. The experiencer is not there. He has become the experience. From it percolated the Shastras. From it came the Shastras. That's why we say that from the Vani, from the Akashvani, from the Guru Mukha, from the Veda, from the Vidya, it has come. See, then it is not an action, that it is coming from something and going back to something. No, it has come from the Vedas. It comes from the Guru Mukha. Doesn't mean that it is coming and it is going. No, when it is coming, it has to go. When you say coming, it has to go. But here, Vedantically, we have what we have to understand. That's why these are very intricate points one has to understand. If you don't understand this, Vedanta cannot be understood. When we say here, we have to use common language because there is no language for that. So we have to use the common language for that which presents itself. So we have to say it is coming. From Vani is coming from the Guru Mukha in the sense it's not that he is speaking or he is withdrawing it. No. It only comes. It projects, it percolates. No? It distributes, just comes. No? As if the wind comes and then wind doesn't go. Wind is there. No? But we are not feeling it because of the intensity of that. Vani, even if it is not spoken by the Guru, it is there in him, but you are not able to hear it because it is in a different medium, it is there. When he uses a medium in order to transmit it to you, you are able to understand it, you are able to listen to it. When that medium is not available, then you are not able to. But doesn't mean the Vani is not there, Vit is not there, Vidya is not there, Guru is not there. It is there. It is existence. So that we have to understand it specifically in Vedanta when we are listening to the Veda, Upanishad, Vedanta and things like Vira Purana and everything. This principle has to be understood. Otherwise, what we will think that, oh, it is coming and it is going, it is coming and going. When it is coming and going. Or the experiencer, when we say the experience, immediately one will feel that the rishis explained the Vedas based on his experience. That means he has used his intelligence, he has written something or he has spoken something. No. Neither he has spoken nor he has written. It just came from him. Just came. Is it from him? We call it from him. because we have a medium to focus on, so we say it coming from him. Is it coming from him? It is coming from the absolute. It is coming from the existence. Any vani, any vidya, any with, any jnanam comes only from the absolute. Because this cannot be spoken. This cannot be discriminated. It cannot be described. It cannot be elaborated. It cannot be done. But this jnanam, whatever jnanam that comes, it comes. That's why I say it just appears. We call it as comes because that's the only language we know. There's no language beyond that. Language has been made only for the purpose of communication in the materialistic field. The language, what we call as language, bhasha, bhashyam, bhasha. That which can be spoken is bhashyam, is bhasha. That which can be spoken is language. That which cannot be spoken, we don't know. What should we call it? We don't know. But is the idea, is the knowledge, is it not there? Even if it is not spoken. But for that there is no word. So we said that Guru Vani comes from the Guru. Guru is that, the one who is showing the brightness in order to remove the darkness or the knowledge. So from here, because he doesn't have the knowledge, he doesn't have the darkness in him. So the appearance of the words, what we call as Vani or the words, they appear. I would say that it just appears. It's not spoken, it's not transmitted. That is why there is definite, we all must have felt, all of us. I think almost all the people must have felt that when a satsang is attended with the Guru, it's different. When it is listened from the electronic media today, whatever it is, no, it's different. You know, is it not? Why? Is it not the same words that he is speaking there also? It is the same words. So that means it is not the words that are matters. No? It's not the language that matters. It's not the word that matters. Even the actions, what I am doing is, you can see in the video, in the medium, you can see that. But it's not the action that matters. It's not the word that matters. It is not the language that matters. It's not the meaning that matters. It's not the place that matters. What does it matter? What is that difference? We all say there is a difference. I think that's what our generation have felt because we have seen both, so we had an opportunity to discriminate. Probably later on, the generation may not have the choice of directly listening to the Guru, so you will not be able to identify or understand what is the difference between these two. He'll say that there is no difference, what is it? He's speaking there also, you can also see that in the medium, one is seeing and one is showing, one is doing this, one is showing that. But what is that difference? What is that difference? When the Vani is coming through him, that means it's not he again, it's not the Guru again. The experience of the knowledge is percolating from that or appearing from that, and it is absorbed through your third eye. I have already explained it in earlier sessions in our Upanishad. It is absorbed through your knowledge center, not through your ears, not through your indriyas. Whereas in the other mediums, when we listen to that, you are experiencing through the indriyas. So the influence of the indriyas will always be mixed with that. Depending upon the emotion of the person listening, in the indriyas, the meaning also or understanding also can change totally. Even though this also, you may ask that can it not happen when it's actually happening, actually in front of the Guru and explaining? Yes, it can happen. It can also happen. But what happens? We are coming in the later chapters about the system, that how it is. When we are with the Guru, there is a process called tapasya. What is tapasya? We will be explaining in coming chapters. Coming these things are there. What is called tapasya? When we are attending directly with the Guru, there is a tapasya that is happening in you. Your concentration level when you are sitting here and when you are sitting in front of the television or when you are sitting in front of the video recording, is it not different? Yes, it is different. Why it is different? There the Indriyas act, because there is a choice for the Indriya to listen to it or not. Here there is some force that making you listening it. Here is some force that making you concentrating it. Here is there some force that making you understand it and makes you a kind of determination is being implanted in your system by something. What is that something? The presence of the knowledge. There, the presence of the words are there. Here, knowledge means it is not the knowledge what we are talking about after by hearting something or telling something, not that. The knowledge is that which comes. That's the jnanam. Jnanam is not connected with the book, even though the book we take it as a reference, but what I'm speaking, you know it, how it is. It comes. It comes from whom? From that storehouse of the knowledge which is known as the Absolute, which is known as the Brahman. When that is present, the higher consciousness, when it is present, the lower consciousness cannot defy that and go according to his own formation and thought and thinking and then activating itself. It is not possible. Whereas in other case, there is a choice by the Indriyas and the Mana and the intellect to deviate from the listening, because there you are listening and seeing. Shravana and then seeing. You may understand it, you may not understand it, or you may understand it in a different sense, in different meanings. That option is there. But in this jnanam, what happens is that this inherent jnanam, when it is present, even though the person who is sitting also can think, now you also must be thinking something else, suppose. It's okay. But what happens? This presence of the jnanam will already percolated into you through the third eye, and it will remain there. At a point of time when the evoking is necessary, it gets evoked. It may be next Janma, but it will evoke. It will evoke exactly the same way as, because that is the existence. That only can remain in you. Absolutely. That is why I said life is a continuity. Even though we are listening to these things today, opportunity of how many people in this world has got opportunity to listen to Vedic, Vedantic talks in detail without any reservation, without any restriction of the timing, restriction of the place, restriction of any satsang wherever you go. It's all all curtailed by time, by situation, by circumstances, by facilities, by choice, by various factors are there, which is which constitutes to restricts its knowledge being flown freely and accepted that flow as freely, because saptaha they have to finish it in 7 days. Why should we finish it in 7 days? Is my question actually. Saptaha. Is it necessary? That 7 days it has to be. Something happened in 7 days. The story says that in 7 days the Taksha came and then Raja Parikshit had to die because that was the 7 days calculated. But while explaining the Tattvajnanam through that 7 days, it need not be in 7 days, is it? Because that's a Tattvajnanam. What happened in 7 days is a Tattvajnanam. But that can be explained even longer. But it can be done in 7 days also. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong. What I'm saying is that you are putting a barrier to that 7 days. We have to finish it. That kind of thing. Probably if you give more chance to the person who is trying to explain certain things which can be avoided, certain things can be incorporated and can go longer or shorter, whatever it is. The principle being the knowledge should be there. It is not that should not be curtailed by some other means or some other media which obstructs the flow of the knowledge. No? What is it? Why we are listening satsang? To gain that benefit of that satsang. To gain the benefit of the presence of the knowledge. Not to become knowledgeable. No. And you can buy heart it. You can repeat it afterwards. Not to become knowledgeable. To become the knowledge. Moksha mumukshato, that we'll be talking about it. Why are we listening satsang? Not to become knowledgeable. If you become knowledgeable, you become an ahankari. Because you are individual. I know it. I know it. You have to become the knowledge. A discrimination has to be there that I am not the me, I, the sharira and the mana, the intellect and the... But I am the knowledge. That's why they said, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am the Shiva. Said, I am the absoluteness. That's called a Shivoham. When I pray to Shiva, I am different and Shiva is different. So there is a Karta, there is a Bhokta. There is a Karta, there is a Bhokta. The seer, seen and seen, this we have explained in our Upanishads, has to become one to be seen. So why we are listening satsang? We are listening satsang to be the knowledge, not to become knowledgeable. Please, don't have to know it. Your intelligence need not to discriminate it. Intelligence need not to understand it. Intelligence need not to by heart it. Jnanam is something like that rasa. That's why the Indriyas also in the Sw.Chinmayananda Bhava, Shabda Sparsha Rasa Rupa Gandha, they said. Shabda doesn't have a shape, form, anything. Or what is Shabda? How can you explain Shabda? That which can be listened through the ear is Shabda. That's the maximum explanation that I can give, that what I can give. Is it that Shabda? Is the Shabdam true that I am hearing from through the ear? I have to listen through the Antaratma. I have to listen through the knowledge. I have to see through the knowledge. That what is seen externally with the eyes need not be right. You can see so many false things and can understand it is right. You can listen to so many false things and you can understand it is right. So is it right then? No. Why? Because there is a medium called Indriyas that interfering the knowledge to percolate into the system, percolate into the Antaratma. So listen from the inner soul, inner self, the Antaratma, inner listening. So to do that, a tapasya is necessary. We'll be talking about it. Through that tapasya, where sitting in upasana itself is tapasya. Through that upasana only nididhyasana comes. That's why listening satsang through the loudspeakers somewhere standing outside will not have that benefit. He will understand, yes, there is something like that. Awareness will be there, no doubt. But you have to. The purpose is what? Why are you spending your time? Your valuable time, why are you spending? Hmm? Because you want to convert that valuable time into the true value of the self. Today you call it as valuable time. That valuable time you want to convert it into the true value of yourself. Now today you don't know what is the true value of yourself. You only know the values of something else which is external. You know the value of time, value of money, value of facilities, value of jnanam, value of kirti, value of apakirti. You know, all these values you will know, but you don't know the value of the self, the knowledge itself. Why are you here? Spending all that? Why are you here? Evading all that? Sacrificing all that? Or you are surrendering all that? Or you are renouncing all that to be the jnana? To be the jnana, just like a still flame, which is not afflicted by any of the environments, just to be burning yourself without getting affected by any influences. No tricks of your mind, no tricks of your intelligence, no tricks of your indriyas, no tricks of your pralobhanam, attraction and attachment, and things like that. That, to become that, is why you are here. Why should I become that? Because you have to become that. There is no question of why. You have no authority to ask why, first of all. You have no choice. On what basis are you asking why? Your creation is meant for that. So the question of why is not at all there. Yes. When? That question you can ask. When should I become that? Now, after some time, after one janma, after 10 janmas, after 100 janmas, yes, fine, no problem. Take your time. But you have to. Any amount of time you can take, but ultimately you have to. It's your convenience. You can take choice. And a number of attempts you can make. You have to pass. Eh? Then only you are accepted. It's not. Any number of attempts. Nobody asks you how many attempts have you made. No. After passing. Does anybody ask? In how many attempts did you pass? No. You are passed? Yes. What is your mark sheet? This. That's all. So here also, what is your mark sheet? What is your tapodila? That's mark sheet. How disciplined you had been and how it was. For what? The final passing exam, there only that. That's all. You have to, so there is no question of why. Yes, there is a question when. Your choice. No forcing on that. That's why Vedanta, Adi Sankaracharya, Bhagavan said, I give you the choice, but you have to understand this. You understand this today or tomorrow. But when you are listening from the Guru Vani or from the Guru Mukha, when you are listening in his presence, in his auras, in his presence, the Jnanam is present here. In other place, Shabda is present when you are listening to recorded music. That's why live what's it? Concerts, live concerts, what is that? Live shows that will tell you what reality reality show. The other one is not non-reality show. If this is reality show, that is non-reality show. The other one, yes. So you want see everyone wants live concert, and reality show, real concept. Everyone wants that. Yes. I mean, but today also people are talking about it. Why I am emphasizing on this? No, your mind should be able to easily understand what I am speaking or what Adi Sankaracharya Bhagavan wants to tell us. We have to understand it. In order to understand that, we have to. We should be in a position to understand in the sense that we should be understanding it. Not according to your choice of understanding. No. He takes that choice away from you. Says that you have to listen like this only. No. Otherwise, don't listen. Sorry, no problem. If you want to listen, you have to listen like this only. Is what Bhagavan says. Is why where we started from the brightness, like the knowledge and the light and the darkness. The darkness, how it vanishes or how it gets absorbed into the knowledge. The Mudada has to get absorbed into the knowledge, otherwise it is difficult. It has to pervade. The light has to pervade on the darkness. That means it should be powerful. That means the knowledge has to pervade on the Ajnanam. Jnanam has to pervade on the Ajnanam. It has to infiltrate. When it infiltrates, the disintegration of the darkness, disintegration of the Jnanam takes place into the and gets integrated with the knowledge. When it gets integrated with the knowledge, the darkness or the Ajnanam, it gets diluted. We call it as dilution. Diluted means what? It loses its property or strength. It loses, that's called diluting. When it is diluting, gradually it becomes that. Pour water into the milk, it becomes milk. Well, it may not be scientific, you still can differentiate. But just for an example, I suddenly what I thought simile, that's all. Even after there is a container of milk and you pour some water in it, we don't call it as water, we call it as milk. Yeah, we call it as milk. Well, what it contains? It contains milk and water. But it's milk. I call it milk because I can see that only. Similarly, when the Ajnanam gets integrated with the Jnanam, there is no Ajnanam, I see it only Jnanam. There is no darkness, I see is bright. Where is the darkness gone? That's why I said, doesn't vanish. It gets integrated into the light. So the darkness is not visible, cannot be identified because it doesn't have an identity to project itself. Similarly, the darkness doesn't have an identity to project itself because it has got diluted, it has got disintegrated and got integrated into the brightness or the light. So even though it is there, but it cannot be experienced because its identity is lost. Once it is lost its identity and it has become the other, once it loses one matter loses its identity, it becomes the other matter. Yes. Is it not? Same thing happens with the milk and water. Water loses its identity because the quantum of the milk is more. That's what I mean. When the quantum of the milk is more, and when you pour little water on that, the water loses its identity and it becomes milk. In the same way, if there is water, more water, and pour little bit of milk, we still call it as water. ओम प्रकाश का डायलॉग याद है, दूध पानी में दूध है. He talks in one of the movies. पानी में दूध है. See, that's it. So who has? That means the milk has lost its identity. That's how it is. You understood now where is the darkness? It vanishes now. No. Gets absorbed. Get absorbed. Becomes now. What is after absorbing what it becomes? It becomes brightness, light. Similarly, when ajnanam is disintegrated and integrated with the knowledge, it becomes knowledge. There is no, because identity of ajnanam, not ajnani, ajnanam has been vanished and jnanam is there. I'm hair splitting it too much. I know. I'm repeating it number of times because Upanishad itself is that. Number of times it repeats, Upanishad itself says that. The repetition has to be there because from all the corners we have to attack that so that no doubt should be left in the what's that, in the memory or in the brain, in the memory or in the mind of the Sharanarthi, they called it. There should not be doubt. Then the Sharanartham will not be there. Sharanam will not be there. So one has to understand it in the right sense, in the right perspective. Then only you will be in a position to utilize it. Purpose is not listening and then forgetting it. Purpose is for listening it and then putting it. Then it vanishes. All this what you listen, it vanishes. Rasam of this, the gist of this will remain inside you for number of janmas. So long your Atma is there, so long your Atma is there, this word spoken by me will be there in you. This jnanam, not the word spoken, sorry, not the word spoken. The jnanam that has been absorbed by you will be there. Let me put it that way. Not that told by me, but the jnanam that has been absorbed by you will remain with you throughout the janma of your Jivatma. Anytime you want, you can revoke it. That's it. That's a benefit of it. No? Because jnanam never goes back into ajnana. No. Because it's an existence. So that's why the experience of the rishis, we said. Experience in the sense, not that individual rishis, but it is the jnanam itself is being projected. So we said about the differentiation of the problems of man and his life. Objective inclusion is his life. Whereas a man is he, the one who has got the mana. So when he changes, his life changes. That's why he said, last class we explained about the man and the life and his life. The life is inclusive of all the external as well as the internal experiences, a person of karma and things like that. Whereas man is only that which is internal. So if the man changes, his life changes. You try to change the life and then if the man to change, it is very difficult. It can happen, but it's very difficult because you have to attend too many fronts to rectify. Not all you will attend. So we go further on that. Vedanta is the science of life. What is this science? One is called Jnanam, another is called Vijnanam. Science is Vijnanam. That which is the knowledge, from that knowledge, we borrow or we take out or we borrow things that is necessary for particular purpose is called Vijnana. That's why it is known as science. It's not known as Jnana. Vedantically, Vedanta explains, but that way, except Jnanam, everything else is Vijnanam. Because all are ways and means in order to attain the Jnanam. So except Jnanam, everything is except others are Vijnanam only. That's why he said Vedanta is Vijnanam. Not the principle of Vedanta is Vijnanam, but the explanation of the Vedanta is the science of life. Science of life in the sense? Science of life, not living. One is life, another is living. Executing the life in order to sustain its reality and merges with the Parabrahman is called that life. The life is given in order to experience the living, and through that living, you gain the experience of the living, identify the living, and renounce all of them. Because after we understand, we renounce it actually. That's it. After we experience it, we don't want to experience it again. After we listen to seeing one movie once, finished. After eating one lunch, then wait for the next lunch, next day. Lunch, that lunch doesn't come back. Anyway, something like that. Okay. The life is that the life which is consisting of the knowledge as well as the capability in order to attain the experiences of living through the knowledge. Through the knowledge, if I experience the life, living the life gains the experience of the life through the karmas, Vijnanam, that converts me, that helps me to transform me into the absolute Jnanam, is called life. Living is an execution of that performance of the activities of knowledge, gain of knowledge is called the living. But the life itself is that which is supposed to be transforming itself to the Antaratma or merging with the Antaratma, merging with the Parabrahman. After having all these experiences and renouncing them and take the rest or gist of that knowledge alone, so that I am in a position to detach myself from the desire of living. The life wants to live. After it is lived, the life should not want the living. No, is it not? Once I have taken one page, the next page, I don't want to go back because I have already done it. We all finish our work also in our karma, in our jiva, in our life. Why are we doing so many things? We want to finish it. No? I have told this number of times, I think, earlier. We want to finish everything. People also ask the same thing. Have you finished that? Have you finished this? Have you finished it? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done this? So at a point of time, we have to reach a point of time where we have done everything. When we have done everything, we don't go back to that. So if the living has been done in the manner in which this explains in the scriptures and the shastras, if the living has been done, the living is no more necessary for the life transforms itself to the Brahman and the Atma. So it becomes the knowledge, it becomes the jnana. After gaining the knowledge, it has to become the jnana. If it doesn't become the jnanam, till it becomes the jnanam, the life will remain for living. That's why we say number of janmas. Number of janmas in the sense continuity of the life for so long. I understand the living is no more necessary in order to have the liberation from the karma and attain the Parabrahman, Moksha and Parabrahman. Not till the time we understand that, the life has to continue with living. After that, the life is no more there, only Brahman is there. Because all the knowledge has been gained and has become the. Why the life is not there? Because it has become the knowledge. Once it becomes the knowledge, it becomes the Parabrahman. That's all. Knowledge doesn't have a separate identity. Knowledge is common. One. Knowledge is one. We become, so they say, people what they say, we become one with the Paramatma, one with the Bhagwan, one with the Atma. What does it mean? One become one with the absolute knowledge, where there is no classification. Identity is not there. Identity comes when there is Vijnana comes, when the life comes, when the Ajnanam comes, then the identity comes. When there is no identity, that means no identity has to come. Is the purpose of learning this. People who are interested only should learn this, otherwise it will be difficult. But it is also good that one should understand it, one should learn it. As I told you, this jnanam will be somewhere in there, in the apana, in the udana, somewhere it is stored and then reveals. Do you think today we are taking the class only because that after reading, understanding, studying, nothing else? And where it comes? That which is stored. No, it flows. When you suddenly you open the storehouse and it starts flowing. It comes. Whatever has been stored, it flows. Any point of time it will come. It keeps on coming, the knowledge. Vedanta is the science of life. The Vijnana of Jivan. The Vijnana of the life. Vijnana of the life. Or the science of life. The Vijnana. That which has to be, Vijnana is that it has to be experimented. I remember I have told these words, the experimental experience, experimented experience, the other is experience, without experiment. Unless it becomes, that's called the experience, what we talked about rishis. The experience that without an identity of an individual is that experience of the knowledge. That means that is knowledge. Experimental experience is that Vijnana. We are trying. No? In our life, that's all. We are all doing on trial and error method. Let me eat and see whether it is good or bad. Let me cook and see whether it is good or comes out well or not, whether it is okay or not. Let me write and see whether it is there. Let me practice and see. Let me meditate and see whether I get it. All that Vijnana. All other techniques, what we call it as techniques. Techniques are tools, no? That some kind of tools in order to understand certain knowledge is technique. A kind of method is used in order to identify the knowledge from that and gain the experience of the knowledge is why a technique is used. A tool is used. Vijnanam, these are all Vijnanam. To understand what is Vijnanam. As I told you, other than when I look at it, I don't know, I think so. When I look at it, other than the true Jnanam, Everything else is Vijnanam. So through Vijnanam is necessary, science is necessary. Through that, we will attain the Jnanam. As I told you, we should become the Jnanam. Don't try to become the Jnani. That's why. Many people want to become Jnanis. Many people want to become knowledgeable, qualified to that. Don't try to do that. You can never become a Jnani. You have to become a Jnanam. No? You can never become a Jnani. No. Jnanam is complete. Jnani is incomplete because he has not done everything. Had he done everything, had he understood everything, he would not be he. He would become the Jnanam. Very simple equation to understand. When he says he's a Jnani, that means there are certain things which has not been understood by him or he has not transformed himself. He has to be so. A Jnani is not that. So it explains the art of living. It points out the ultimate goal of existence, you see, and provides schemes and methods by which sincere seekers can easily make their pilgrimage successful. The seekers go to the pilgrimage in order to attain the goal of existence. That's a pilgrimage. Where is the pilgrimage leading to? That temple of existence. So, in order to attain that, the science of living will help. Vijnanam will help. Provides the schemes and methods. As I told you, techniques. Schemes and methods have been identified. Since the teacher has to point out a goal transcending the ordinary realms of experiences, he has to borrow his vocabulary from the everyday language and present them, no doubt, strangely dressed up in special significances. He has to borrow the language, as I think I already told you. The language, there is no language to explain the absolute or the Brahman, but I have to, the Guru has to borrow the language from the everyday language, that which is prevalent at that point of time. That language has to be borrowed, and then, the inference has to be derived out of it, and then has to be explained so that the the listener or the seeker can relate it with the Brahman, can have an idea of that this is what it is. So, in order to attain that pilgrimage, in order to go through, to go smoothly through that pilgrimage of attaining the existence, the Vijnanam is necessary. Dressed up, special significances. Dressed up in the sense, he modifies the words, colors the words, or with similes and with examples and things like that. Dressing up of that has to be with the significance, but not losing the significance of the meaning of that. He uses with those all those, even though I have told so many things, but not losing the significance of the importance of the Brahman itself. That should be there. That should be kept. So that's the purpose. Naturally, the obvious dictionary meaning will not be a true guide in digesting and assimilating the declarations of the scriptures. Beautifully. That's what exactly I said. That if you look for, when you listen from the medium, with the media, from the video, from this one and that one, what you listen, you will try to look for the meaning, dictionary meaning, as well as the meaning, dictionary meaning in the sense, the dictionary that what you have in your mind, depending upon your choice of understanding based on your experience of your life, or temporarily or permanently, whatever it is. So that will not be the true guidance in order to what he wants, Bhagavan wants. I see he has used a word called digesting it. Digesting is that absorbing it. As I told, the darkness goes into the brightness and then disintegrates, and it cannot have an identity. After you digest it, it becomes the knowledge, not Vedanta, not Veda, not Upanishad, not this. The gist of knowledge it becomes. It becomes the knowledge. That's called digesting. In order to digest means not the digestive system of ours, not the stomach, but digesting through the, the self as well as the mind, as well as intellect and the antaratma. Digesting it, assimilating the declarations after digesting it. How can you listen? That's why Shravana, Manana, then Upasana, Nididhyasana, Tapasya, Tapa, Upasana. That means you listen many things, no? The tits and bits in order to digest it. After digesting it, that what you have digested has to be assimilated. In order to assimilate who, what is the instrument? How to assimilate them? How to assimilate them and put it in order, no? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put no. It should look one. At last, it should look only one, not number of experiences. No, it has to become one. So that's called assimilating. Assimilating has the knowledge. How it can be done? It can be done through tapasya. It can be done. Many ways are there. They have explained. We are coming to that through the cha, through tapasya, through meditation. Tapasya is again meditation, and through the jnanam that is transmitted to you, the capacity of the digesting and assimilating capacity, how will you gain that? By practice, you cannot assimilate. By practice, you may be able to digest it, but by practice, you cannot assimilate. So it's not that practice of every day. No, it's not karma. It's not through karma that you can assimilate. It's through the capability, capacity, the capability that you can assimilate. What's called capability? Efficiency. What is efficiency? That which is possible through that without any external instrument that should be in a position to put it in order. That's what. No, you cannot use any instrument there. There is no practice for that. For that, you have to have tapasya. For tapasya, it's assimilating. We will explain next class. Let's get a bit of explain. I would like to express, I don't know whether I am right, what I am telling you, but I think I am right. I would like to explain assimilating little more, if you agree with me. You are not bored already. Three, how many classes? 4 classes. Finished? Shall we stop it? Yes. ज़्यादा हो गया क्या? और indigestion आ जाएगा. He said to digest. I don't know whether you are digesting or indigesting. Om Shanti.